So you have stretch marks. How awful for you. Oh no, that's wrong. It's ugly, horrible. How ashamed you must be, really. Because stretch marks are naturally one of the most nasty things you can have. So please don't show them. We would hate that for you, for our precious eyes as a society. Please pack them away. Be ashamed. Other people don't have them. It's only you, love. Only you. Have you ever heard similar words to that, even though I may have added a bit to them? Perhaps you read them in magazines when you were a teen, a child, or even an adult. Perhaps you remember, like I do, that in the 2000s, stretch marks were only truly mentioned in culture if it was because someone claimed to have finally found the true cure. It was an oil, a scrub, a little machine with electric pulses to soften your skin. And none of them worked, other than taking away your money from your account and putting it into theirs. Today, we are talking about stretch marks and why it is that we have been feeling ashamed of them for so very long. Welcome to Feminist Friday with me, Camilla. I have an academic background in religion, intellectual history, Hebrew, and feminist studies, and I do these series called Feminist Fridays to shed more light on the parts of history we normally don't hear very much about. If you like this and what I do, please leave this video a like and please go support my work on Ko-fi so I can continue doing it. There's a link to the Ko-fi where you can become a member of my Hexacami Coven, where you normally find those links. It's only €3 a month and it truly would make a difference for me, so thanks for doing it. Where you normally find those links. It's only €3 a month and it truly would make a difference for me, so thanks for doing it. In this video, I will be talking about stretch marks and I will, in regards to this, talk about pregnancy. Please keep in mind that pregnancy is a thing that happens to those who have a uterus, and that having a uterus does not mean you view yourself as a so-called woman. If I say something about a pregnant woman in this video, refer to what I am saying now. There are more than two genders. There always have been, so keep that in mind. And with that being said, I think we should get right back to the topic of today, stretch marks, or as some people like to call them, let's talk about angel scratches. Angel scratches, or stretch marks, is what happens when your skin is being stretched. They are a form of scars that occur when your body tears during rapid growth. They can typically be when you hit puberty, or you fall pregnant, or when you gain weight. I personally have stretch marks from when I hit puberty on my breasts, since I went from being a no-breasted individual to having a C cup within such a short time frame that the skin, it simply could not keep up. And those stretch marks in particular have always filled me with so much shame that I'm even ashamed of mentioning them right now, which is exactly why I'm forcing myself to mention them. Because why on earth am I ashamed? It's my skin. It has lines. You can see them. So what? The shame around stretch marks is not a new phenomenon. And I am, even though this thought makes me sad, I'm sure you know the shame too on some level, because it is one that we have been fed for so long. Let's go back to ancient Egypt, for example, and see how they thought of stretch marks. Of course, I cannot ask anyone from the time, so instead I have found sources saying that we have archaeological finds of little jars shaped like nude women that would have held ointment for the women who were pregnant. This ointment was for their growing bellies because those typically get stretch marks during pregnancy. Actually, 90% of all pregnant bellies get stretch marks in the process, which then makes it even more ridiculous to see that there are more than 15 million hits on Google when you type in how to get rid of stretch marks, because one can deduce that people want to get rid of them because they do not like them. So we do not like a very natural thing about ourselves. Why? Some think that a reason for this can be found in history, because they think that skin conditions could be used as health indicators. think of skin turning white when you are sick or, for example, if you get a rash. You can, without being a doctor, see that this person is one you shall keep a distance from until they are better, in order for yourself not to be infected with whatever they may have. Well, that can be a reason, but another one could maybe be found somewhere else, in capitalism. Let's take a look at how many companies that claim to have formulas that can cure your stretch marks. Just like in ancient Egypt, ointments are still a thing being catered to your mind as the one thing that can solve your insecurities. And if we think of this capitalist aspect as being part of the reason, well, then that leads us down an interesting lane. Imagine you have a business with a product you'd like people to buy. Your product in this allegory is tomatoes. You sell them, but people don't really buy them. They like them fine enough, but your profit is way too low. Okay, so what do? Well, you try to make good ads, you make great discounts, bulk options and more, but nothing really helps. Then one day you see your neighbor's business. They also sell tomatoes and their business is thriving. What do? Well, they say that their tomatoes cure bad breaths. People hate smelling, so they get the tomatoes to get rid of a problem that they relate to. Now, remove the tomatoes, remove the bad breath, insert instead oil, lotion, and your stretch marks. If we are being told again and again by companies that their product can solve this issue, well, then at some point we consider that very thing an issue. Of course, the matter is not as simple as this, but it does show that the shame we feel about something that happens to 90% of those who fall pregnant, to 70% of adolescent girls, and 40% of adolescent boys. This is a statistic I have from a source, so please remember what I said about gender, but it shows that it's not necessarily a natural shame. It has been placed within our minds. Now, can that be said about all things we feel ashamed about? Yes. So why am I saying it? To remind you and myself that our skin is lovely just as it is. It protects us and keeps us safe. Sometimes it has scars, sometimes not, and that is totally okay and wonderful. And with that said, I'm now going to, for the first time in my life, wear something that shows off my angel scratches on my breasts, because one needs to walk the walk to talk the talk, right? If you like this Feminist Friday, remember to like the video, follow me, and also please go to my Ko-fi and become a member so you can help me out with a tiny amount every month. I would much appreciate it. Thank you for watching. May you too want to show off your stretch marks and love yourself in the process. I know I will do the same. See you next week. Stay feminist.